how are you all doing, beautiful people? Let me hope you're all doing fine. As usual, I am back with something to learn. Basically today, I am going to be digging deeper into the conscious and the subconscious mind. Yes, I told you, the conscious and the subconscious mind are key factors in our lives because they actually make our entire lives. Just knowing about how the conscious and the subconscious mind works could help you make your life better. I talked about the subconscious mind as being that antenna that projects our beliefs and emotions to the universe. But still, I talked about it as well as that ground where God or that divine consciousness speaks to us from. That is where we receive the message from the divine, or from that infinite being that most of the people call different names, including God, including Allah, including Source, including the infinite consciousness. The name does not matter. But from our subconscious mind is where we receive all the information that comes to us from God or from Source. This means when we clear our subconscious mind off of negativity, off of the limiting beliefs, off of when we clear our subconscious mind and we get all the dirt or the dust and the garbage out of it, the voice from the divine, or the voice from Source, or the voice from the higher, from the infinite consciousness becomes clear. Because I told you, God, or that divine consciousness, speaks to us each and every time. He or it has always been communicating to us, just that we just don't pay attention, or we don't hear. We don't hear that voice, or we don't hear how, or we don't actually know how he even speaks, or how it speaks to us. But remember, I told you that divine consciousness speaks to us through dreams, through intuition, through downloads or a sudden knowing, through through prayer. I talked about dreams, which other way? Yes, through the nature, through art, through writings. He is infinite, and you know he is everything, so we can use each and every means to communicate to us as long as we pay attention. And then I talked about the conscious mind. The conscious mind being that that program that runs our everyday activities. The conscious mind. The conscious mind runs each and everything, our daily activities, our daily planning. The moment you plan that I'm going maybe for shopping next week, you're using your conscious mind. The moment you plan to eat lunch at any time you want, that is your conscious mind. The moment you worried about how your future will be, you're using your conscious mind. The moment you think of your daily activities, the mind that helps you realize that, for example, I'm now putting on a shirt, you get, that is your conscious mind. That program that helps you realize that maybe I'm hungry is your conscious mind. But most of the times it derives the information from the subconscious mind. So the conscious mind interprets what the subconscious mind stores, you get. Yep. Okay, someone may ask a question. If I want to hear, or if I want to pay attention to that divine consciousness or God, and I want to start listening or hearing that message, or I want to start receiving that message as clear as it can be, what am I supposed to do? Because I told you, if your subconscious mind is clogged with a lot of garbage, the information that comes to you is distorted and then it is not so clear to you. Now, if someone wants to hear that divine consciousness, because I've told you this consciousness or that divine consciousness that is called God has always been speaking to each and every one. That is why you have you receive dreams which you think are just nothing, but in actual sense those are that is one of the ways through which that divine consciousness speaks to us. So how do we clear our subconscious mind so that we get that right information from source or from God? Remember I told you God communicates, or that divine consciousness or source, the creator of everything, that divine energy, infinite energy, communicates to us, and then the message is interpreted by our higher self, or higher self is the voice of our soul. You get that higher self communicates, that higher consciousness of God communicates to our soul through what we call the higher self. The higher self gets that information and communicates to us through our subconscious mind. Then our subconscious mind receives that message, but when the subconscious mind is clogged with a lot of negativity or negative beliefs, that message comes distorted. But when that subconscious mind is clear, we get that right information from source. Okay, so from our subconscious mind, the conscious mind interprets that message to us in a way that we understand it. That is how you get a message. If it was distorted by your subconscious mind, it will reach your conscious mind distorted. So that means the best way to receive that information as clear and as clean as it can be is cleaning our subconscious mind and removing all the dirt, the dust, the garbage that is in it, so that that message comes unfiltered. These are the ways which you can use to clear your subconscious mind. One of them is meditation. Meditation is one of the ways. The other is stillness or presence, being in the present. Yes, I'll be explaining more about that. Then there is journaling. Journaling is like writing, writing what you think, what you feel without judging it. Journaling. Then there is through prayer. Yes, through prayer we can as well listen to that divine consciousness. Through interacting with nature. Yes, through interacting with nature. And then when you sleep as well, you can hear the divine speaking to you. Now I'm going to explain what actually happens behind the scenes during those activities. Another activity is when you're doing something that you want, if there is any activity that you want, that you love doing so much that it gets you off of these normal feelings and emotions, and it takes you to what we call a higher realm. Or that activity, if that activity can take you to what we call a flow state. A flow state is that period or that time when you're doing something and it's flowing effortlessly, that you don't have to think about anything but only focus on whatever activity you are doing. Let's say I'm recording music. The state in which I be in while recording music brings me to focusing on that, so that the rest of the emotions and the rest of the thoughts don't distract me. So if you are doing anything like that puts you, or that puts you in what we call a flow state, the divine communicates to you with ease. Okay, what happens is this. The reason as to why you hear a lot of noise, the reason as to why you're always in a hurry to do something, the reason as to why you're always chasing after what is next, the reason as to why you're always worried about how tomorrow is going to be, the reason as to why you think about anything, like, for example, let's say I am writing something, but then a thought comes and I'm like, oh, how am I going to or where am I going to have lunch today? All those thoughts and emotions. Like I said, the conscious mind is responsible for running of our daily business, worrying about how tomorrow will be, fixing things that are not in the right place, doing the house calls. All that is done by the conscious mind. But then this conscious mind is so full of noise that at most of the times, all those emotions that you see coming and going away, all those information, those thoughts that keep you worrying about how tomorrow will be, are conducted by our conscious mind. Remember, it runs our daily activities, the conscious mind. When those thoughts keep on coming more and more and more, when they keep coming oftenly, they distort or they silence that voice of the divine from reaching us. The more you are worried about how tomorrow is going to be, the more you are worried about what you're cooking today, the more you're worried about what the future brings to you, the more you're worried about your past. Remember all that. Most of those thoughts are got from the subconscious mind, but the conscious mind interprets them so that they help it run our daily business. You get? The more you're worried about that job or how your boss is going to treat you today, all that noise is interpreted or is run by your conscious mind. So the more those voices keep shouting or they keep replaying in your mind, the more the voice of the divine comes down, or the more it is silenced. So the best way we can hear from the divine is silencing that voice of the conscious mind. You get? Because the message comes to the subconscious mind, but then when we silence the conscious mind, that daily chattering, we get to hear the subconscious mind. Do you remember this example that I've given you, that when you are in a flow state or when you're doing an activity that you want, all your mind is focused on that activity. So these are the distractions that come, you don't give them attention. So being that you focused on that activity, it opens the way for the subconscious mind. And remember, I told you the subconscious mind is where the divine or God communicates to us. So any activity that gets you away or that puts you away of all that worry and doubt that is caused by your conscious mind opens your doorway to your subconscious mind, and it is through that subconscious mind where the divine speaks or communicates to us. That is why when you are sleeping, you're not worried about your tomorrow, you're not worried about your future, you're not worried about your past. So that means, because all that, the worry and the doubt and everything is interpreted by your conscious mind. When you're sleeping, your conscious mind gets to rest. It sleeps as well. But then when it sleeps, your subconscious mind is open. The doors of your subconscious mind open, and when they open, the divine gets to speak to you. That is why you get dreams when you sleep.